as security is concerned, remain intact. No one is being put to or held to account. And that's a concern by Kenyans, that it seems like this has been allowed to go on for a bit too long without anyone being held to account. Do you share in those concerns?
Yeah, Fred, thank you very much. To a large extent, I do. I think any state that cannot be able to guarantee the security of its citizens, whether or not they agree politically, because you see, the connection between the people who've disappeared or who are assumed to have been abducted is that they were critics of government. And I think that is a problem that we are having at the moment, that it's assumed that when you criticize government, something is going to happen to you. And that's a very bad thing, first for our democracy, because governments should be criticized. I mean, it's just the right of Kenyans to be able to criticize their government because the government represents them. And I think the fact that we have not been able to pin down who exactly is doing this is of great concern. So we expect, I remember some time back, it was Kanja, I remember some time back, it's from Kome, it's been like a revolving door, you know. And let's just assume left office. Does it mean abductions will stop? Is it a structural character of our security forces? Is it an official position? And I think that's the conversation, rather than be reactive. Because you see, the problem that we are having as a country is that we are reactive. We don't really ever follow this thing to its conclusion. Yeah. This is not the first time we're having conversations about abductions. We had neither is this the first government that we're having conversations about abductions and disappearances, right? But we never have closure. So we have different players, we have different victims, we have different perpetrators. We never have a conclusion to this process. And I think as a country we need to agree. I listened to Matiang'i recently on some media house, and he said we should create public inquests to issues so that anybody who is mentioned is invited to come and say what they know about the situation. And I think we also need to deliberately decide we will be getting closure. So that it's not, you see, like now, the issue of Albert Ojwang, there was a politics, and then there was a law, right? And we get to the point where after the politics simmered down, we have a family that has still lost a loved one, but it's like moving gradually away from main space because the politics has changed. How do we get to the end of it? And that's the problem. So now I saw another headline yesterday saying now that we have been able to manage the aftermath of abductions, of extrajudicial killings, we seem to have moved away from demanding for accountability. Public inquest, in my opinion, a determination by both state and non-state actors, by parliament, by the judiciary, by the executive, to actually get closure on this once and for all. We must know if somebody is abducted, what is the process? And I think our laws need to kick in a lot faster. Because if we have a missing person report, I have seen a couple of other young people who have been mentioned to have been missing. What exactly are you supposed to happen? At what point does that missing person become an abducted person? Okay. Those are some of the questions that we need to get to.
In the run-up to the 2022 elections, then Deputy President William Ruto seemed to lay the blame on such actions by police squarely on the bosses who ran those institutions. The DCI boss then was George Kinoti, and he said